5 years ago, at a time like this, I lost two close family members. This episode is in honor and in memory of them. In this episode, I will talk about my experience during that period. I will also share about how God turned some of that pain into purpose. That was priceless. The best thing, in my opinion, that you can do for someone who has lost a loved one is spending time with them. So if you've ever lost someone while far from home, this message is for you. And if you've ever lost someone at all, this message is for you. You are not alone. And the same God who carried me through can turn your ashes into something beautiful too.
He said, He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. The Lord which keepeth thee, He will not slumber nor sleep. For thy Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Diaspora Honey and Beastings, where we discuss the ups and downs of living abroad. My name is Lydia Atandi, and I am a Kenyan that has lived in the US for 10 years now. If you're new here, welcome aboard. We are so glad you're here. And if you are a regular viewer, I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. Now, living abroad brings both sweetness and stings, and one of the hardest things is grief. If you've ever lost a loved one while far from home, you know how heavy that feels. You're thousands of miles away, watching funerals through a screen, and life around you just keeps moving. In this video, I want to share something very personal, and that is my experience of losing my dad and my sister while living abroad, and how God took that pain and turned it into purpose. So I didn't understand why He allowed it to happen that way. I've been through a lot, and that is by far the most traumatic moment of my life. Grieving in the diaspora is unique. You mourn in silence while still trying to function. You show up to work, you smile at people, but inside you're learning how to heal quietly while life keeps going. So I lost my family members in quick succession. I lost my sister one day after my dad was buried. Due to a number of reasons that were beyond my control, I was not able to fly to Kenya at that time to witness their send-off, and that fact really pained me. When my dad passed away, I mourned his loss and went through the stages of grief in a sequential manner. When I lost my sister, however, I was more in shock than anything else. I went through the stages of grief in such an erratic and non-linear way because the shock overshadowed every other feeling I had. Matter of fact, I believe my grief came way later, after the shock had dissipated a little bit. So during the acute phase of those losses, the first few weeks after they happened, we had some people coming over to visit my brother and I. However, it really was not a big number of people compared to how Kenyans usually show up during loss. A big part of it is because it was COVID time back in 2020, and people had their reservations about meeting up in groups, understandably so. Shout out to everyone who took their time to visit with us despite the COVID concerns. That were existent at that time. I really appreciate everyone who pulled their resources together to help with the plans that were in process back at home. I also cannot appreciate enough my sister-in-law, who was there for us in many ways, and she sacrificed a lot. She sacrificed a lot of her time to visit with us and to make sure we were holding up okay. So on most of those days, we had a number of people visiting, but on a few of those days, we would sit at home in silence, just with my brother, comforting each other. On those days, we would hear a knock on the door, and whenever we'd hear a knock on the door, that would warm our heart. I remember there was this guy who would visit around 9 p.m. every day. His name is Simon. Simon, if you're watching this, man, may God richly reward you. Simon would pass by our home when he came back from work, and he would make us laugh so hard with his entertaining stories. That was priceless. The best thing, in my opinion, that you can do for someone who has lost a loved one is spending time with them. You don't have to, you don't have to tell them entertaining stories like Simon did. Sometimes even by just sitting with them in silence, you have no idea what impact that can have. Over time, God has healed my family and I in many ways. When some of my friends learn about that part of my life that I went through, they go like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know you've been through all that. You usually look so happy." And I tell them it's all because of God. God has the ability to preserve us while we go through the fire. You know how in the Bible, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were in the fire but came out not looking anything like it. That's what God does. He preserves us while we're going through the fire. And I really appreciate everyone who also took their time to pray for us at that time. Those prayers held us and kept us going, because otherwise I could have stayed down for a long time. I could have probably lost it. I'll share a bit about my loved ones. My dad was the kindest man ever. He honored God with all his heart, and he was very intentional about raising my siblings and I to know and love God. He loved us so dearly, and he set the standard for me for what a man should be like. That right there is a picture of him and his grandson, and you can just see the kindness in his eyes. My sister was the most bubbly person in the room. She had this infectious smile, and her energy was so magnetic. We were opposites in that she was such an extrovert, and as some of you know, I am such an introvert. My sister was my best friend, and sometimes we had this inside jokes that no one else found funny. I miss my dad and my sister every day. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I understand the reason that God allowed things to unfold in the way they did. That is a question that I'll probably ask God when we get to heaven. What I know though is that over time, God has healed me and He has given me peace. He helped me accept what had happened. Yes, for a while I was down, but He helped me not to stay down. There are a number of beautiful things that were born out of that excruciating moment of my life. The first one is that I discovered a new gift, and that is the ability to mobilize people and bring comfort to others walking through loss. Those people that visited with us on the days when my brother and I were sitting down by ourselves in grief, those guys really had a big impact on us. I said to myself, I want to be that person for someone else that is going through loss. And for that reason, I have found myself mobilizing quite a bit during times of loss here in our community. If someone loses a loved one, I try to be there for them as much as I can. I let their close friends do their mobilizing, but if there is no one really mobilizing people, I try to jump in and help to mobilize, of course with consent from the family. I have really found fulfillment in helping during those situations, and I believe that is part of my purpose, to help families that are going through loss and to mobilize people to come through for them. And that is why I say God turned my pain into purpose. Another thing that I started doing later that is in alignment with my purpose is talking to families and educating families. I'm passionate about educating families about life insurance, the different options that exist, and how we can take advantage of them. One big reason I do that is to create more awareness to families to protect themselves, especially if they have dependents. And if you are curious about that topic, I'll be happy to answer your questions. So feel free to reach out through the email provided in the description box down below. One other thing that came out of everything I went through during that rough time is the birth of Diaspora Honey and Bastings channel. Through this forum, I wanted to I wanted to encourage people that even though there are things that we go through while living in diaspora, of course, including the sting of grief, even though there's things, there's some honey somewhere waiting for us, and that there's hope at the end of the tunnel. So if you've ever lost someone while far from home, this message is for you. And if you've ever lost someone at all, this message is for you. You are not alone. And the same God who carried me through can turn your ashes into something beautiful too. The grief that you went through or you are currently going through, that might just be the soil where your purpose grows. If this message touched your heart, please like, comment, and or share it with someone who might need it, who might need comfort today. Tell me in the comments what has helped you heal through grief. I'd love to read your story. So thank you. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. May you always find the honey, even though life's base stings. Even though life brings some stings, may you always find some honey. I will close with one of my favorite songs, and I hope it's a blessing to you. Thank you so much for watching. Stay encouraged, and don't forget to subscribe.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He said, He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. The Lord which keepeth thee, He will not slumber nor sleep. For thy Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand, upon thy right hand. No, the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. He shall preserve thy soul, even forevermore. Oh, my help, my help, my help. All of my help cometh from the